collectors. This is the Monster Gallery coloring book that I was fortunate to pick up from Jason Schermeyer about 2 years ago, if I remember. This book, it's quite large. It's heavy bound. It is. Let's see. Yeah, it's old. It's old. This is 1970s at least, because Tomland figures, which created all kinds of cool and crazy knockoff monster figures and space figures while Star Wars was making its debut, was also stealing art from this. This is from the Troubadour Press in San Francisco. It's the Monster Gallery, illustrated by Mark Civi and text by Aaliyah Waski. You can see it's already got that creepy littleness right there. And we thought maybe we'd kind of do this tonight. So I was showing some Tomland figures, and we kind of got into discussion for another video. But also thought it would be interesting since we're near Halloween and kind of clearing up from here. So here we are right here. Copyright 1973 by Troubadour Press. Let's see, this looks like it's in San Francisco. There's his ISBN number if you're looking for it. If you don't know what the ISBN number is, you should have paid attention when you were younger, but that's the code for this book, so you could find it. Which anywhere in the world. So basically, the book comes with, it's a coloring book. It has a little bit of a story on one side and the coloring page on the other. This is the Fly. This is the exact artwork that Tomland Industries, when they made their famous Monsters of Legend, the Fly figure, used as the card art. Now, they colored it. It wasn't plain, but this was the exact figure. And on the back, they actually copied this text and typed it onto the back of the card. All right, let's go over. So let's get a few things out of the way here. Gotta get a little gentle with it. Frankenstein. It's got all the classic monsters. And he looks like he's a little thin. Yeah, he's got the classic Frankenstein hands and head. Maybe that kind of the wool top, but man, he's got some long legs, doesn't he? And you can see Frankenstein is in a laboratory. You can see that the door has been broken and the arch is broken down. There's probably the machine that gave him life. Some chains, some columns in the back. Definitely, he's done some damage in there. The Mummy. And I like this representation of the Mummy, although, it does they do look a little tall, a little thin. I'm sure the camera's not helping, but you can see he's kind of in this swamp here, or this foggy area, these tall grasses, and happens to be a buzzard in the back, and there he is, reaching out for you. Moving on, one of my favorites of all time, the creature from the Black Lagoon. God made all creatures and gave them our love and our fear. Saul 6. And he's great. You can see he's definitely in the swamp. There's all these creepy trees in the back, and he's in at least up to his halfway up his shins in swampy water there. And notice these are not the Universal Monsters official monsters. These are general interpretations of them. Hunchback in Notre Dame. And there he is, swinging off the rope in the bell tower, ringing that bell, which was his job. If you remember from watching the old movies or so on. The bell ringer. Godzilla. Where would the world be without Godzilla? The release of atomic energy constitutes a new force, too revolutionary to consider in the framework of old ideas. Message to Congress on Atomic Energy, October 3rd, 1945. And here's Godzilla. Again, these are more general adaptations. These are not official artist renderings, if you will. Eating a train or breaking a train. You can see there's tanks down here taking shots at them. There's spotlights all over, trying to light them up. Cars, trucks, buildings. He's going to do some damage there. Already tore a train apart. The Cyclops. This is another one that Tomland took for its famous monsters of legend, the Cyclops. Now, the artwork for these was pretty much on the glow-in-the-dark versions, as they made non-glow-in-the-dark versions, which came Star Raider cards or other cards from Italy and so on, basically Star Raiders, creatures from other worlds. There's a few out there. They did several different labels, if you will, for the same figures. The werewolf, and here he is. He looks like he's ready to trounce. You can see he's probably came out of that castle, or was on his way to that castle over there, and he's out in the woods, all kinds of trees and so on. The abominable snowman. And here he is. This is the actual card art again that Tomland stole for their abominable snowman figure, famous monsters of legend. You can see there's the little castle or fortress back there. And I remember if you ever watched Ray Castiel's Basement of Horror, he did a really good video on the Tomland monsters, and Ray went into some of the detail and some of the things in the back here that you see. Who is next? Jumping ahead. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And here he is here in all of his nastiness. I really like this one. This one's good. It's got that old school London kind of alleyway. You can see it's probably supposed to be Big Ben in the background. We got the looks like little signs on there on the wall, and there he is with his cane and his top hat. He's very well dressed, but he's got that evil face. And there he is walking through the streets of London, most likely. The Phantom of the Opera. Is there anybody who does not recognize the Phantom of the Opera in this day and age? I would say no. He's been played so many times by so many different characters, and they continue to run Broadway shows of this story. It's just a very famous, very appealing story. People love it. And here he is, the Phantom of the Opera, at his organ, if you will, which is colored version here. So he's got the old organ with the old pull buttons and push buttons that they had on him. Oops, I think we're getting ahead again. Okay, the Morlock from H.G. Wells' The Time Machine. And again, this is the artwork that was used on the Tomland figure. There's the Morlock with his three-fingered hand, his whip, his torn old pants. You can see he's on this cave. You can see there's a little passageway back here where he probably goes and hides. Skull on the ground. Somebody got killed, and then go back into here. That's such a great movie. I love that movie from the 70s or 80s. I forgot what it is. I think it's the 70s. Of course, we had the vampire. Now he's not listed as Dracula. He's listed as the vampire again. It's generic, but he's a very, this is a very romantic style Dracula here. He's well dressed. He looks very much like he's very upper class society. His nice furniture, his candles. You get the little glow around the candle. His chair behind him is very lush and official chair. King Kong. Love King Kong. It was Beauty that killed the Beast. Here's King Kong. He looks a little skinny to me. His arms, they could have maybe made these a little stronger. They look a little skinny, but you can see he's on top of the Empire State Building and he's fighting off the biplanes. Obviously, this is from the RKO picture, 1933. More biplanes. And they've done King Kong in so many versions. I remember going to see King Kong in the 70s at the movie theater with my dad when he was climbing the Twin Towers. The Bride of Frankenstein, and tells you where they actually got these from. So here she is. Again, she's not official, but here she is all wrapped up in the laboratory. Got all kinds of machines and electric going off, and all kinds of potions and stuff being done to bring her to life. And that's the end. Here's just a little, shot of what the end of the book is. Educational, creative, entertaining. Some other kind of books they may have in here. Auto racing, beasties, dinosaur, all kinds of Kachina doll cutouts. I wonder how many people knows what Kachina dolls are. Those are the Native American dolls that they make for their spirits and such. Very, very cool stuff. I actually happen to have some here. So I have family that lives out in New Mexico. And then the back. And here's the iconic skull, or top of the skull, candle on it, and of course, with the snake coming out. So there you have it. There you have it. That is our Monster Gallery book, coloring book. It's large. This one is uncolored by the Troubadour Press in San Francisco. Hope you enjoy. If you do enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Hit the buttons at the bottom. Find us on Facebook on MegoLike, or you can find us on YouTube on MyMegoLike. And you can also visit our website, mymegolike.com, which has nearly 200 pages of various action figures and costumes and vehicles and things like that, and tons of knockoff stuff if you're into it. Okay, enjoy.